Pati yung story sa kanya nagaling. Yung script galing kay Marvin. The storyline, yun nga, kumbaga sa sine, siya yung director tsaka casting director. Hindi lang to sine kasi totoo na nangyari to eh. While Congressman Teves is the executive producer of everything. Pinifinance niya lahat. Kaya producer nga, executive producer. Financing everything.
From the nation's capital, all sides, all the time, I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Angela Lagunzad. The big story tonight.
Embattled Congressman Arnie Teves has been formally named the main mastermind in the killing of Negros Oriental Governor Ruel Degamo.
Teves allegedly financed the ambush while another suspect was in charge of organizing the killers. Marlene Alcaide with the story.
Just last week, Justice Secretary Boying Remulla said Negros Oriental Congressman Arnie Teves fits in somewhere in the Degamo slay case. But now, he is certain that the suspended congressman is behind the murder.
Teves, Arnie Teves, Andolfo Alipit Teves. Mastermind.
Remulla said that there is plenty of evidence to pin Teves, including testimonies from the suspects.
Marami. Kasi lahat. Hindi pa namin nilalabas lahat. We don't have to telegraph our punches. Basta marami pa iba. Testimonies are part of them. At least we have everybody here together already.
Authorities earlier took into custody one of the alleged masterminds in the killing, identified as Marvin Miranda. When asked how everything is connected, Remulla had this to say.
Kumbaga sa sine, siya yung director tsaka casting director. Hindi lang to sine kasi totoo na nangyari to eh. While Congressman Teves is the executive producer of everything.
Remulla said that Teves is the one who funded the entire ambush, including a helicopter used for the escape. Meanwhile, Marvin Miranda is the one who recruited and organized the assassins. The DOJ clarified that Miranda is still considered one of the masterminds and not just a mere middleman. A POW lawyer is representing him in the case. Miranda was brought before DOJ prosecutors for inquest proceedings this afternoon. Meanwhile, the camp of Congressman Teves said that they will just address the accusations at the proper forum and will wait for the charges to be filed. There's no word from the DOJ on when this will happen, but what's for sure is...
We can say that we have made significant progress in finally putting this case to a close.
For News 5, Marlene Alcaide, we are One News.
No more bodies were recovered from the MV Lady Mary Joy 3, which was hit by a deadly blaze of Basilan province. The local government of Basilan said the final death toll is at 28, all of which had been accounted for. The Social Welfare Department and the provincial government of Basilan have been providing financial assistance to the vessel's passengers. For his part, Zamboanga City 1st District Representative Kaimer Adan Olaso said he believes electrical short circuit could have caused the fire, but he did not discount the possibility of foul play, citing the monthly extortion letters that the ship's operator Aleson Shipping had received years back.
Naman ang sana tamino terrorismo no. Although company they're receiving threats before no. Tayo na opisina, tayo na kanila karta, antes, but then ya perdiya man kel no. Kung pandemic.
Tens of thousands of passengers have begun trooping to major terminals as they aim to arrive in their provinces ahead of the long weekend.
This Holy Monday alone, passenger count at PTEX is already seen to reach up to 100,000. Gerard de la Peña gives us the latest from PTEX. Gerard, what do you have for us?
Robbie, Angela, with just 3 days before the long Holy Week break, passengers have begun flocking to the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange. With just a few hours before the Holy Monday ends, most of the trips bound for the Bicol region are already fully booked.
The PTEX management expects foot traffic at the terminal to reach between 80,000 to 100,000 today, with more to come by Holy Wednesday. Air-conditioned buses are already fully booked, while tickets for ordinary buses are selling fast. Passengers like Ana, who is bound for Daet Camarines Norte, almost did not make it for the last few seats.
Ngayong maga, puno na po. Available daw po yung panggabi, pang alas 9.
Josie has decided to go home to Catanduanes instead after the Holy Week break, as there were no available tickets.
Mahirap na rin kahit na after Holy Week na. Dapat doon ako mag-Holy Week. Wala na ako makuhang ticket eh. Oo. Kaya pag ganitong pahirapan na talaga. Mahirap na rin. Kasi marami na rin nagpa-book na.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board said that it has already approved almost 800 special permits.
Sana sufficient na yung na-issue natin, but if in case naman na talagang may need pa rin at may kakulangan, naka-ready naman si LTFRB na mag-issue pa rin ng special permit for contingency during these coming days.
Also noticeable at the terminal are the passengers who brought with them big items, which is quite the norm, especially during peak season. One of them is Romeo, who is bringing with him a griller, alongside other items which he logged using 3 push carts.
Kasi naman sa compact din ang bus. Lalaki naman ang luwag-luwag naman ang kwan yan.
Edwin, who is bound for Albay, is bringing with him 2 big loudspeakers.
Binigay sa akin ng kapatid, binigay sa akin. Kaya ako lang, sayang.
While bus operators can be quite lenient in terms of baggages, the LTFRB discouraged passengers from bringing so much stuff in consideration of other passengers.
Saka siguro ngayong season, yung ating mga kababayan, we said, hanggat maaari, light travel tayo kasi para naman sa iba. Then kung may mga bitbit, siguro they can do that in some other days.
Robbie, Angela, looks like it's gonna be like this until Holy Wednesday, but the PTEX management expects that there might be passengers who would opt to leave instead on Monday, Thursday, or Holy Friday, given that the Sunday, the Monday after Easter Sunday was declared a non-working holiday. So for those who are planning to leave, we advise that they first call their bus companies or have their tickets booked online to ensure availability of seats. Robbie, Angela.
Maraming salamat, Gerard de la Peña, reporting from PTEX.
Meanwhile, airline companies are advising passengers to arrive at the airport 3 hours before their Holy Week flights for domestic destinations and at least 4 hours for international destinations. To avoid crowding, the Philippine Airlines says they will open their check-in counters 5 hours before the scheduled flights. The Bureau of Immigration is meanwhile under red heightened alert as they brace for a surge in passengers during the long weekend. Over 150 additional immigration personnel will be deployed to attend to travelers. NAIA has earlier said that it's expecting some 1.2 million passengers to flock to the country's main gateway this Holy Week. Also, to accommodate the expected influx of passengers, the MMDA is suspending the number coding scheme in Metro Manila later this week. The traffic scheme will be suspended from April 6, Monday, Thursday, to April 10, Day of Valor. The MMDA has also set up a multi-agency command center today to ensure a peaceful observance of Holy Week. But heads up to motorists, there are no rollbacks in oil prices expected this week. In fact, prices of gasoline are expected to climb by 1 peso and 40 centavos per liter starting tomorrow. Diesel prices are meanwhile expected to rise by 50 centavos and kerosene by 20 centavos. This marks the first oil price hike in gasoline after 2 weeks of rollback and after 3 weeks of decrease for diesel and kerosene.
Saudi Arabia and other OPEC Plus producers have announced surprise cuts in their oil production by more than 1 million barrels per day. Saudi Arabia and Russia announced they would each cut their output by 500,000 barrels per day starting May until the end of 2023. Iraq, the UAE, Kuwait, Algeria, and Oman have also announced they will slash their production with voluntary cuts ranging from 40,000 to more than 200,000 barrels per day. The cuts follow a drop in oil prices triggered by jitters in the banking sector after the collapse of SVB and the hurried buyout of Credit Suisse. The Saudi Energy Ministry said the cuts were a precautionary measure aimed at supporting the stability of the oil market.
More stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're watching the big story here on One News.
Water levels in major reservoirs in Luzon could further go down this dry season, adding to uncertainties in supply. Here's what we know. Water regulators and state hydrologists are keeping a close watch on the Angat Dam, which supplies more than 90% of Metro Manila's water needs. It also serves as irrigation source for farmlands in Bulacan and Pampanga. Right now, water level at the Angat has been on a steady decline. As of this morning, Angat's water level is at 201.27 meters. That is below the normal operating level. Water level in other dams in Luzon have likewise dipped below their normal volume, prompting concerns on supply. Water officials are now urging the public to be mindful of consumption, especially with the threat of El Nino by the third quarter. The National Water Resources Board cites the country's experience back in 2019 when water at the Angat Dam hit 116 meters, prompting a water crisis amid the El Nino. For now, the agency has approved an increased allocation of 50 cubic meters per second to Maynila and Manila Water to help manage water interruptions in Metro Manila and nearby provinces. Now, to talk to us about the situation in our dams, we have National Water Resources Board Director Civilio David Jr. Good evening, Mr. David. Welcome to the big story.
Good evening and good evening, everybody.
Sir, let's just recap the numbers that we cited. Angat is now at basically 201 meter level. Kakaumpisa lang po ng Abril. What do we read into this, and how does this compare with water levels during the dry season of previous years?
In fact, no, the current level of Angat Dam, you're correct, at 201.27 as of 6 a.m. this morning. However, this is around 10 meters below the normal high water level, but still, no, we consider this level as within the normal operating of the dam. In fact, this level can be considered higher, no, than the previous years, no, even for last year. However, considering that Pag-asa already advised, no, there is an advisory that there might be the possibility of an El Nino, then we might have to consider this sort of projections by Pag-asa and try to manage the supply so that by the second half of this year, we still have sufficient supply for Metro Manila as well as for irrigation.
All right. Other dams, we're also seeing a decline, no? And was wondering how will this affect regions in Luzon?
Yeah, the other dams, although the other dams are basically for irrigation and hydropower for power generation. Although right now, of course, they're also continuously experiencing some decline. We hope, by the rainy season, in time they can recover sufficiently in time for rainy season. But again, we have to prepare also, for this looming El Nino threat, which might happen in the latter part of the year.
Nabanggit nyo nga po yung El Nino, and it's also good to hear that you're saying manageable pa naman. But with water, more is always better, especially given El Nino. What options do we have to augment our supply?
Right now, we have advised the NWSS to prepare the wells. And of course, they have also some what we call some alternative water sources, like the water treatment facilities in Laguna Lake, and as well as some of the portable water treatment also within the Marikina River basins. So these are some of the, although not as big as Angat Dam, I think this alternative water source can also augment the current situation in time, wherein in case that there may be, we will require an additional water source aside from the releases from Angat Dam. Because currently, what is being released from Angat Dam is, I think, is still sufficient. But as I said earlier, we might have to prepare and stock some additional sufficient supply in case that this El Nino threat will be realized.
Well, as Pag-asa announced, we have yet to reach the peak of the hot temperature here in the Philippines. And I was wondering if this holds true paano naman din yung supply natin, not just only in Luzon, but also in Visayas and Mindanao?
Right now, no, of course, right now, this considering the summer season, no, I think this is quite a little bit normal that we are experiencing some unusual heat, no. But as I think we have to prepare also, no, for outside of Metro Manila, most of the sources are what we call the groundwater or deep wells, which during El Nino episode, the effect, no, are not as significant wherein compared to surface water. But as I said, I think we still have to prepare and for this effect of the El Nino.
We also reported the additional 50 cubic meters per second allocation for the concessionaires. Sagad na po ba yan, or is there concern, if there is concern that it's not enough, do we still have room to accommodate a higher allocation if needed?
Yes, actually, the 50 cubic meters per second allocation is effective between from April 1 to April 15. No? In fact, the NWSS and the concessionaires have requested a higher allocation at 52 cubic meters per second. But right now, the board is still is continuously reviewing this allocation and request of NWSS for an increase of allocation. And I think we will consider what is the current situation in the dam, and of course the projections related to El Nino, as well as the impact, no, of this current allocation. So the board is still open, no, in considering this additional request, but of course it is still being reviewed.
Okay, maraming salamat po. NWRB Executive Director Sevilio David Jr.
A new map produced by a United States science agency shows the oil spill from the sunken oil tanker MT Princess Empress possibly reaching Coron, Palawan. The map, generated by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration through the Disasters Charter, was based on a satellite image taken on April 2. But the Philippine Space Agency clarifies that the map and the possible oil leak still have to be validated. The local government of Puerto Galera, meanwhile, is reiterating to the public that the town remains free from the oil slick. To prove their point, local government employees, business owners, students, and local residents of the town all swam together on the white beach of Puerto Galera. All of them wore white clothes to show that the place is safe from the feared oil spill.
Naririto ho kami ang lokal na pamahalaan na nagpapatunay ng ating dalampasigan, ang ating magagandang beach dito ay safe na puntahan ng ating mga turista. Mag-ingat ho tayo sa mga fake news na inilalabas dito ho sa ating mga social media kasi mananagot po kayo sa bayang ito.
We'll have more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News.
You're still watching the big story here on One News.
10 detainees jailed for various crimes escaped from a detention facility in Pasay earlier this morning. Camille Samonte with the details.
This CCTV footage shows several men rushing in Barangay 156 in Malibay, Pasay in the early morning hours. It turns out that these are the prisoners who escaped from the Malibay Police Detention Facility. According to the police, the inmates slowly twisted a metal grill in their cell. The first 3 prisoners then escaped, attacking the only police guard on duty at that time, Police Staff Sergeant Arison Arid. Reports show that one of the jail trustees knocked on Arid's door. When he opened it, he was attacked by the 3 prisoners. They took his gun, money, and the keys to the detention facility, allowing 7 prisoners in total to escape.
3 na yung sumunggab sa kanya, pinalo agad siya ng kahoy. So, siyempre, ang kagandahan lang nito, hindi siya pinatay or ano. Kaya maswerte pa rin siya. Pero hindi naman tayo nagkulang sa mga tao natin sa paalala.
The police sergeant suffered bruises on his face, hands, and body during the attack. However, he remains tight-lipped and refuses to reveal how the prisoners escaped. NCRPO Regional Director Major General Edgar Alan Okubo has since ordered the temporary dismissal of Police Major Jerry Sunga, commander of Malibay Police Substation 6, as well as of the designated jailer to give way to an impartial investigation. The SPD also said administrative sanctions will be imposed on personnel found to have committed lapses that enabled the escape.
Pinababantayan ko na rin tong ating si jailer kasi para anytime maiharap sila sa investigation.
The Malibay police immediately released photos of the fugitives. They were identified as Richard De La Cruz, Carlo Magno Benavides, Christian Salvatierra, Norman Data, Joey Hernandez, Eden Garcia, Tirizo Galit, Romeo Marasigan, John Michael Cabe, and Joshua Pananiban. The police are currently pursuing the remaining fugitives. They have also identified the leader of the group, Norman Data, who was a jail trustee who convinced the other inmates to escape. 4 prisoners, meanwhile, have already surrendered voluntarily. They were identified as Ina Joey Hernandez, Eden Garcia, Joshua Panganiban, and Tirizo Galit. The Pasay LGU and Southern Police District have allocated a reward of 130,000 pesos for anyone who can provide information leading to their capture. For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
Here to give us updates on the escape from the jail in Pasay City, we have with us on the line Pasay City Chief of Police, Froilan Uy. Good evening. Welcome to the big story, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Sir, gaya po ng binalita natin, 4 na huli na, but there are still 6 na pinaghahanap pa. Do we have any idea on where they might be?
For information po, make it 5. 5 po ang capture na natin at they did not surrender.
Okay.
Wala pong sumuko. Lahat po sila were arrested.
Sige po. So in the meantime, so kung ang update natin is 5 were arrested, that now leaves 5 more na hinahanap pa.
Yes. Meron kami mga leads but we cannot divulge it on air because of security reasons. Baka ma-alert po yung ating mga fugitives. Anyway, yun pong nadagdag sa ito po yung mga naaresto. Si Eden Garcia, si Joey Hernandez were arrested in Barangay 59, Pasay. Joshua Panganiban was arrested in Taytay, Rizal. Tirso Galit was arrested in Taguig City. While Christian Salvatierra was arrested in Calamba City.
Sir, gaano po kalawak yung parameter na ilagay po natin, na set natin para dito sa ongoing na manhunt, para dito pa sa natitirang 5 pa na kailangan natin mahuli?
Bawat isa po sa kanya binigyan namin ng tigi-tigisan team para manghuli sa kanila. Pero dahil may mga nahuli na, ay magiging double na po ang effort para mahuli pa po sila. At tuloy-tuloy naman ang panawagan namin sa mga barangay kapitan dito sa Pasay. Baka meron pa po sila mga information or may contact po sila sa mga kamag-anakan na hanggat maaari pasukuin na yung kanilang mga kamag-anakan na nakatakat dahil wala hong naging mabuti or walang naidulot na mabuti doon sa pagtakas nila. Bagkus nilagay pa po nila sa mas mabigat na sitwasyon yung kanilang kalagayan.
Sir, alam naman po nating tuloy-tuloy ang investigasyon dito, pero may kalinawan po ba kung paano sila nakatakas?
Nung binisita natin yung jail facility, mayroon silang isang portion doon na nakita ng may kahinaan. Doon po sila nagsimula na sinira nila yung portion na yon. Kaya nung nasira yung portion na yon, yung pinakamaliliit sa kanila, yun lang ang nagkasya ron. Kaya may nakalabas at ni-rush up nila, binugbog nila yung ating jailer doon. And eventually, nabuksan nila yung selda, lumabas yung 7. Out of the 35 inmates, 10 po yung tumakas, 25 po yung naiwan.
Samantala po, speaking of yung binugbog, kamusta naman po ang sarhento?
He is in good condition now. However, sad to say, we have to file necessary charges against him. Yes. At nirelieve na rin po natin ang ating substation commander at ang ating deputy substation commander doon. Pinalitan na po natin ng panibago para po sa pagharap po nila sa investigation.
Alright, sir, how can the public cooperate po on this matter just in case makakita po sila nitong mga iba pang mga nakatakas po sa kulungan?
Okay. Sa ngayon, they can report the matter kung may makita man sila sa nearest police station or sa kanilang nearest barangay so that those persons na nakatakas will be rearrested.
Okay, maraming salamat po. Pasay City Chief of Police, Froilan Uy. And that's the big story tonight. For more updates, follow News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. You may also log on to onenews.ph for more analysis. Ako po si Robbie Alampay.
The big story is also available via Signal Play app. Make a free account now at signalplay.com and stream One News anytime, anywhere. I'm Angela Lagunzad. Stay safe, Philippines.
And we are One News, all sides, all the time.